Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Retro Wrestling Room. We have a very special guest with us today. Once again, we are on our world tour. We have Mr. Philippine Wrestling, the Senorito, the Filipino fighting rooster on the show today. We have Jack DeLeon. How's it going, my man?
Hey, it's Jake DeLeon, by the way. Thank you. It's
Did I,
Jake DeLeon. Thank
did
you
I,
so much.
did
No
I hear
worries. Don't
Jack?
worry about it. People get it wrong. It's fine. It's fine. I'm used to it. I correct them. And then that's where we start off, honestly. But yes, I'm doing fine, Bench. Thank you for having me on the Retro Wrestling Room. I am the Filipino Fighting Rooster and your Setup Thailand 24/7 champion, Jake DeLeon. And I am honored to be here, honestly.
I can't believe I said that wrong.
Don't worry about it.
there, there are many things I'll get wrong in different podcasts, but I think that's the first time I've said the wrong name.
Mm, that's all good. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe you were just like a little bit nervous about my aura. He's being in the presence of a champ.
That is 100% what it is. That is what we'll tell everyone.
All right, gotcha. Anyway, thanks for having me.
No problem at all. I'm really glad you're on the show. Last year you had a pretty amazing year, and you had an amazing match with Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
And you even got to tag with him as well this year as well. What was it like stepping into the ring with the best technical wrestler in the world?
Honestly, like stepping into the ring with the best technical wrestler in the world, it's like the first time. Honestly, it's so nerve wracking. Knowing full well the amount of knowledge, skill, and experience that that man has, and I was definitely like a fish out of water. In my first go ahead with him, I was just praying that I wasn't gonna die, quite like so for lack of a better word. And like rightfully so, it like 30 minutes later, I did not die. I was able to last in there with Zack Sabre Jr. Honestly, like watching that match back, honestly, I know there's a lot of things I could have done better, but we all know that 2020 is hindsight. But it was such an amazing experience to be able to learn from Zack Sabre Jr. in that match, lasting 30 minutes. Him trying to stretch me out any which way, me just trying to survive, me trying to hit him with as many bombs I had in my arsenal at the time. And yeah, we couldn't get the job done against each other. And it's still one of the, to this day, one of obviously my favorite match
Hmm.
ever because of the atmosphere, the opponent, and like everyone that the audience, the Filipino wrestling audience that was there, they were just wild hot. The venue was also very hot, literally. And yeah, it was just like a magical night all over.
Do you feel like you leveled up since that match?
I feel like I level up with every match that I do, honestly, but obviously with our matches that have different like experience points in a way that come with it. Like obviously that Zack Sabre Jr. match, I've leveled up immensely. But there are also a number of matches that I've had previously in my career that I can say that I've leveled up. Back in 2017, it was with beautiful Billy Swade, all the way from
Mm.
Canada. He's a Filipino Canadian. And then I leveled up again when I fought TJP back in 2019. Fast forward to fighting Chris Brooks. Fast forward to fighting Masa Takanashi, fighting Zack Sabre Jr., fighting and meeting everyone in my career. I feel like I've always wrestled. Even like the my fellow Pinoy wrestlers, even when I wrestle my fellow Pinoy wrestlers, even though let's say they're not at the same experience level or like at the same aura that a Zack Sabre Jr. would be, I
Mm.
always make it a point to find a way to like level up against these guys. You know, it's like you're killing slimes. You're killing slimes over and over again just to get that one level. And then when it comes to my Pinoy wrestling colleagues, some of them are slimes, some of them are like I don't know dragons in a sense. But yeah, I make it a point to level up any which way when it comes to any match that I have.
Your name has actually come up, and your actual name has actually come up on the podcast a couple of times now.
Okay.
We recently had Simon from C Wrestling Magazine on the show.
Mhm.
He was picking you up. We actually watched some different wrestling from different promotions over there as well. And he
Mhm.
was a big fan. He was talking about you, and obviously we had Super P on the
Yeah.
show as well. Um, What was it like, seeing the progress of Super P and, seeing her going from obviously starting out to, now doing so well in that local scene?
Obviously, it's been a very proud moment for me to see the rise of Super P, the way that she has just kind of embraced her character, embrace like want like went full force.
Mm,
It's a very proud moment because like I've known how much she's struggled. I've seen how long she's been training in the Pinoy wrestling scene. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's all the way back to 2018, and then it all went all the way through the pandemic, and then eventually when we joined Manila Wrestling Federation, she was able to debut, and then she went through an injury, and then now we went to Puso Wrestling, and then she has just blossomed to something amazing, and then obviously we hate the fact that she got injured again, sadly, but I know that Super P is strong enough to fight through all this adversity that she's gone through because in her whole life she's been fighting through adversity. So it's a very proud moment for me. And like all I have to say about Super P is that she is definitely one to watch out for. And like
mhm.
I don't say this often, but like I have like there's a lot of people in the Pinoy wrestling scene that I there's not a lot of people in the Pinoy wrestling scene that I consider as a rival. But like I have a Fabio Makisig, I have Nigel San Jose, I have Robin Sane. I consider Super P to be one of my rivals now in terms of like becoming one of the top Pinoy wrestlers in the scene currently.
Well, that's really big praise. I know she'll definitely love hearing that. Why do you think, at the moment, the whole scene over there just seems to be getting bigger and bigger, and
Mm.
not just there, it seems to be translating across the world as well at the moment. What do you think makes it so special? Like, why do you think it's starting to catch fire at the moment?
That's a really good question. I definitely feel like because we all know, well, not that we all know, but like essentially Pusa wrestling came about from the death or the closing of Manila Wrestling Federation,
Mhm.
and obviously it was something that was very heartbreaking for a lot of us, more so than others because they've been like in Manila Wrestling Federation for most of their lives. But like at the end of the day, after all the sadness, all the grief that we gone through, we sort of realized that all of us in the team right now, we all just want to keep doing pro wrestling. We all just want to keep Pinoy wrestling alive. And once we kind of started realizing that, once we realized that we're here for the wrestling. We're not here to make it would be great to make money obviously, but we're not here primarily to make money. We're not here primarily to gain fame or attention. We're here to keep the Pinoy wrestling scene alive and like help it thrive. So because I think it's because of our I'm trying to find the word. I think it's because of our passion for it. We were able to kind of invite and welcome in a lot of more passionate people, not just on the wrestling side. So like we have people that are helping us on the production side, people in the backstage areas that are like very much responsible for the success of the show, not just the wrestlers, but like people who put on the shows, who make the shows look like they are, who make the production design of the shows, people from Dexcon, people from World Underground Wrestling, people from Puso, obviously. So we all kind of just like came together and like wanted to make Pinoy wrestling better than what it was before. We all had like that fire in our ass that we wanted to make it better than what Philippine Wrestling Revolution was. We wanted to make it better than what Manila Wrestling Federation was. So with Puso, with Dexcon, and with World Underground Wrestling, we were able to kind of like capture that lightning in a ball. And like every show moving forward, we always find a way to do better than the last show, whether it's like in production, whether it's in like how to set up everything else. It's like we all just keep continuing to grow, and like every every time that we have a show, we find something that we can work on, and then we just fix it next show, and then keep growing better and better.
Right, let's go back to the very, very start. What are some of your like very first memories of wrestling?
uh I keep telling the story honestly, but like my very first memory of wrestling is me 4 years old sneaking out of my room, watching, like turning on the TV, watching WWF at the time, and then the first image that like pops out and like hit me in the face was a bloody Stone Cold Steve Austin being trampled on by either Kane or Undertaker. That's the thing that I don't really remember. It was either Kane or Undertaker. Bloodied Stone Cold Steve Austin, the redneck hillbilly that is again anti-establishment, is being stepped on by these supernatural characters, larger than life personalities. So that was the first ever foray, and then I would keep sneaking out ever since. So I would like eventually my parents just like kind of like, okay, you like this wrestling so much, we'll just let you watch it. And like a lot of people don't know this, but like back then, but in the Philippines back then, we had one channel for wrestling. It was RPN 9. Eventually, it would evolve. Like we would have like some stuff. We were able to watch more WWE stuff in like on a channel called Jack TV. Then we would also like be able to catch TNA sometimes, like on the channel in Star. It's called Star World. So I was able to catch my first glimpse of TNA back then. That's when I fell in love with AJ Styles. So it's like, yeah, it's like it's been with me. Pro wrestling has been with me ever since I was 4 years old, and I've kind of just never left. I would break up with it here and there. I would be we would be on a break here and there, but like I just never left.
When did you decide to go from just being a fan of pro wrestling to actually getting into pro wrestling?
It was actually when I started working right after I graduated.
Mhm.
Like the first year I started working, I was just so bored in my 9 to 5 job, and then there was that group of people on Facebook, uh, who just wanted to kind of like put up their own promotion. It's a group of Filipinos that wanted to put up their own promotion because we had no pro wrestling promotion in the scene at the time in the Philippines at the time. I think for maybe already close to no, I think at that time it was around 20 years there was no pro wrestling in the Philippines. So we just decided to like, okay, why don't we try to make our own promotion? So we all had like that one training session where I also tell the story a lot, but like basically we had one guy, his name was Bombay Suarez. We had one guy who had like the tapes of the old UWF or whatever it was called, where
Mhm.
you could see guys like John Cena, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, uh like demoing the rolls, the bumps and everything to on video. So that's basically how we started learning to do rolls and bumps. And then we kind of just leveled up from there. So like like going off on a tangent, I'm sorry, but
Oh,
like
no, 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 fine.
I just wanted to like kind of lay out that story. But yeah, basically I was just so bored with my 9 to 5 job that I wanted to do something new. And like again, I mentioned that pro wrestling has never really left me. So I decided, okay, why not try pro wrestling?
I've actually got some clips together
Okay.
from the very, very, very early days. Uh,
Oh no.
I don't know how long it's been since you've seen some of these clips,
Oh no.
but
Oh my god.
um, yeah,
Oh god.
a
No.
very, very young looking Jake in some of these. What were some of your memories from these days, and how much of the Jake Delone that we have now
Mm.
was here then? How much have you evolved since these days?
Well, as you can see from the video, I've evolved quite a bit. Like quite a bit. That was 11 years ago, like 2014. And it's God, I think the memories that I've had of those times, like it's been it's been a journey, let's say. There's a lot of ups and downs. It was definitely a journey. But like what I enjoyed most about those days is that how carefree we kind of were,
Mm,
how we just really wanted to do pro wrestling, how we just wanted to be in the pro wrestling world, which is why you see a lot of those not so great clips of me in terms of like how my moves and stuff and like how it looks and like how my body is honestly. But I was happy that time. We were all happy that time. We all just were very happy to be in the world of pro wrestling. And in terms of my evolution, I've definitely evolved. I started out for those who don't know, I started out as a hashindero character. So a hashindero is basically in the Philippines a landowner, because I wanted to be one of those $1 million man and JBL types.
okay.
But that's the funny thing is like people never really like started like never people never really saw me as a bad guy. I guess
Mhm.
it like they say like I have a too good of a smile sometimes. But now like recently my girlfriend and like my friends have been telling me I have a pretty good shit eating grin. So like that's why it works right now as a bad guy. But like back then, so basically I evolved from like being, so I called myself back then a señorito, so which is basically what they call the landowners or hacienderos. I realized that that's kind of like a just a at its core is like just a bad guy character, and I wasn't really doing a bad guy character, which evolved into Mr. Philippine Wrestling. And like I basically held that title, the Mr. Philippine Wrestling title, for maybe 6 7 years at this point, until I realized, okay, I need to make a change. Like the I've mentioned this on another podcast also, but like the thing that made me realize my character from Mr. Philippine Wrestling needed to change was actually Emi
I mean,
Sakura of
yes.
AEW and Choco Pro. So it's like I needed something that would grab people's attention besides just being a guy from the Philippines, being the best wrestler from the Philippines, which is why you see the chicken mask behind you. You see the rooster mask behind you. It's basically that's how I turned into the Filipino fighting rooster. Like calling inspiration from the technically illegal cockfights in the Philippines,
Mm.
where if you don't win, as if you're one of the cocks in the fight and then you don't win, you're basically turned into dinner. So that's like how basically I've lived my life in Pinoy wrestling. I wanted to make sure that every fight means something, and for me, every fight does mean something, because if I don't do well, if I just kind of like act lazy, or like if I don't if I lose the fire for this, that's basically the death of my career. So I always have that fire with me.
You had a tryout for the WWE back in
Yeah.
2019. Was it
Yes, it
2019?
was.
Um, and I've heard you say that it was some of the hardest 4 days of training that you've ever had.
Yeah.
What made it so difficult for you, do you think?
Uh, at that point, the main thing that made it difficult was because I was definitely out of shape. Like if you like you see
Okay.
from the old clips earlier that you showed, that was
Mm,
basically me. Like like up until that was me from 2014 up until to maybe the up until the 2019. Like I would work, like I would train, I would work out, I would like, but I never really like went full force with it because
mm,
I think at that point it was something that I enjoyed doing, but like I didn't really realize how hard I needed to work to kind of like raise my game. So like when the WWE tryout invite came, obviously you don't say no. You obviously don't say no. You go anyway. And like
mhm.
I was just trying to get into as much shape as I can before that time, before we had to go to the tryout. But it was still the hardest 4 days of my life because it's like whatever cardio and conditioning I thought I was able to do, or I thought that I could like manage, they maybe tripled it. And like they tripled it to the point like really badly. But like I'm just happy that I was able to get through that whole training, the whole tryouts. The wrestling, I'm just happy that when we were there, when Ken Warren, Crystal, and I were there, we were able to see that the techniques that we've learned along the way, with basically nothing. We've had a couple of Filipino wrestlers or like Japanese wrestlers come over to the Philippines and like help teach us some things. But like we didn't really have that one trainer that was in the business or like knows about the business. So like we were just happy to see that the training that we've received throughout the years with basically nothing stood up in like had legs in terms of like the WWE tryout. But like yeah, like running the circuit training, the cardio, that was definitely new to me. But I survived. I'm alive. And like little story about that is like there was one drill that we did that was like time based. I was happy that I got second out of everyone
Mm,
into like like in a speed based drill. I'm like, okay, I have something. I'm small. I'm pudgy, but I have something. So like that's something I would need to work on. And obviously of that tryout, they were able to get Dante Chen from Singapore.
mm.
And like still good friends with him to this day. And like I just that lit a fire under my ass. Like me and like I was ready to like go full force and like do my best. But like obviously the pandemic hit. But like once we came back after the pandemic, I was able to kind of refocus and like level up to the Jake DeLeon that you see now.
Well, that's it. I mean, the fact that you saw that as a good thing and it lit a fire under you, I think that kind of shows your character because a lot of people it could have been the end of
Mhm.
their journey. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
They could have used that as an excuse. I'm not quite there. I'm not going to get there, and that could have been the end of their journey. But the fact that you were like, right, okay, I've seen the changes that I need to make now, and this is where the journey starts again, type
Mhm.
deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So I I've I don't know when that started out, but like I've always kind of been like that. Don't get me wrong, I do have like my bouts of anxiety and depression, obviously. Like who doesn't at this point in
Yeah.
this day and age? But like I felt like the tryout didn't really discourage me, even though I wasn't chosen. Didn't really discourage me, even though I knew how small I was, like in size, stature, and obviously like in ring shape compared to everyone else that was there. But what it kind of just made me understand what I was lacking and like what I wanted to work on when we got back after the tryout. So like that's why that basically that whole week kind of just continues to stick with me and wanting to do better every time. So like and like I've been lucky enough after those tryouts. I've been lucky enough to get in contact with like other pro wrestlers that have done this longer than I have. And like one thing, and I'd like to shout out Mike Bailey for this one because I bother him sometimes, and like he's gracious enough to reply to me. Like I've always seen his videos, and like I like the thing that he tells like the people who ask him questions, like just find one thing that you can improve on every match, every training day, everything. It's like I'm sure other people have said it, but like Mike Bailey has been the one that like just comes to mind when I talk about this. He says just find that one thing that you can work on to improve in every match. And I'm like, okay. So like that's why every match I have, like I always want to try to do something. I'm not sure if my opponents are like happy about it, but like I like, yo, let's try this thing out. Like and yeah, that's how I've been approaching the life ever since.
You mentioned Emi Sakura earlier as well, and
Yeah.
she had some infamous words for you about your character. I
Yeah.
think it was
Like besides
basically,
being yeah,
yeah,
besides being a Filipino, what are you?
exactly. Which is
Yeah.
so it's it comes across so harsh when you just read it. But
Yeah.
I had an interview with Balianaki back at the
Yeah.
start of this podcast, and he had a very similar story as well. With these very blunt, I guess is the best word, from Emi
Mhm.
Sakura, and it kind of clicked something in his brain as well. He's like, "Oh right, okay, yeah, maybe you do have a point." But talking of Emmy, you actually got to travel to Japan for Choco Pro, and
Mhm.
you performed in the iconic Kirken Hall as well.
Yeah.
We've got some clips here as well. What was that? What was the whole experience like for you going there for Choco Pro?
It's been a really amazing experience. I've known of Choco Pro ever since like 2018.
Mm,
Like I've seen them wrestle in the iconic Ichigaya Chocolate Square.
yeah.
It's been a dream of mine. I think at this point, at that point, I think Kirk and Hall and Ichigaya Chocolate Square were kind of like one to one in terms of like the wrestling venues I've wanted to wrestle in, because their style of wrestling on the mat wrestling, it's always been something so intriguing to me, something so
Mhm.
interesting, because how do you wrestle without ropes? How do you make it so compelling? How do you make it so fun for the people who are watching without the spectacle of a ring? And as you can see from the clips here, it's like it's been something I've thankfully been able to learn in my time there, and obviously being able to wrestle in Kirk Hall, like just being in the arena, just like taking that magic in, it was something so special to me. So like I definitely am thankful for like obviously the ones who invited me were Chris Brooks and Masa Takanashi, because when they were here for DexCon WrestleStorm, I asked them what does it take for me to get to Japan. They just said no, just come over to Japan and then we'll figure it out. I'm like, okay. So then I like thankfully to my girlfriend as well, like she was able to help me plan out like everything I needed to do to fly to Japan. We got to Japan. Chris and Masa helped me out, obviously, with like working for Bakagay Jin, working for Choco Pro, and like I was lucky enough to be able to have stayed to wrestle for Choco Pro in Kirken Hall, and I was able to also work another promotion named Hot Shushu over in Saitama,
Mm.
where they basically in the same area as the Ice Ribbon. Because we like, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but like we have a Filipina ate named Yapi. Our
Yeah.
sister Yapi wrestles for Ice Ribbon, so I was able to get a booking there as well. So it's like it's still a very surreal experience to me. It's really fun looking back on it, and like I'm still working my way back to Japan. It's not really easy for a Filipino to get to Japan because of all the visa stuff.
Mm.
But like hopefully, if not this year, next year, I definitely will aim to get back to Japan. Hopefully, do better than what I did the last time.
Are there any particular promotions or places that you really feel like you will fit better than others, maybe? Or
I would
or
like
is
to wrestle for them all.
yeah, yeah.
But like if I can like obviously I would really love to wrestle with Choco Pro again, wrestle in Bakagaijin, wrestle also with Hot Shushu. I really want to wrestle for as many promotions I want, but like if there's a dream promotion that I really want to be a part of, I really, really want to be a part of DDT.
Right, okay.
DDT is like a pipe dream for me right now. It's like I really want to work DDT because not only do they have amazing wrestling, they also have like the creativity. It's basically like if you mesh like a New Japan with a Choco Pro, like Choco Pro has so much fun with it, but like and then New Japan has like a lot of really great wrestling. DDT has both, and like I really wanna like not to say that Chopra doesn't have great wrestling, but like I just really want to be like in the environment of DDT where it's like you can have great wrestling, but also like have a match with a blow up doll, then like
Exactly.
have the crowd be like so into it, and that's something I want to do. That's something I've been trying to bring over to Pinoy wrestling as well, where
Mm.
more fun matches, like not just like all the serious stuff, but like anything that I can do to kind of like keep pushing the envelope and like make other promotions in the world look at the Philippines and like say hey we have this too, we can do this too, so like come over, have fun, and then maybe bring our guys over and you they can have fun over there as well.
How difficult did you find it, wrestling in that iconic, Choco Pro room? You know, the fact that the crowd are so close on the edges of the mat. You know, we even see them looking through the windows as well. They're
Yeah,
that close to you.
yeah.
You know, because even like things like an arm drag, I'm just always convinced like legs are gonna hit people, and you know how difficult is it to kind of plan out a match in that such a small space.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty difficult, like in terms of like the space, because you're used to more space in a pro wrestling ring and just
Mm,
like in a bigger area, honestly. But like I think that's a testament to the creativity and the skill of Choco Pro wrestlers that they're able to wrestle in that in such a tight space. Chris Brooks alone should not work in that venue.
exactly.
Quite honestly, bro, 6'4" man should not like feasibly work in that small Choco Pro apartment. But like it works, and like I think that's just like that's just I feel like in terms of pro wrestling, like for my colleagues in the Southeast Asian pro wrestling scene and in Pinoy wrestling as well, something that you really can benefit from are doing these matches, are like challenging your creativity, because one of the toughest things when it comes to Southeast Asian pro wrestling is the real estate. We can't move the ring around so much. There's not a lot of venues that will take a ring. They'll allow the mats because okay, there's we don't have to like lug in like really huge equipment for a ring. So if we put down mats, maybe they'll allow us. And like right now we're trying to make it a point to have more of these mat wrestling shows around and like bring the love of Pinoy wrestling around to more venues and to more people, because traffic in Manila is bad. Let's be honest.
Mm.
And like some people don't like to make the commute over to Brawl Pit Bulusan, so we want to bring the wrestling to them, and hopefully, these mat wrestling shows will keep bringing them back more. But yeah, to say it's definitely difficult because it's not something you're used to as a pro wrestling fan, and your pro wrestling brain always thinks, "Oh, I need ropes, I need a turnbuckle, I need to have a ring," and it's also easier for fans to understand because seeing the ring is like it's already a spectacle in itself. But like if you're able to do a mat wrestling show, if you're able to captivate people with mat wrestling, I definitely say you're much better as a pro wrestler overall.
That's it. Yeah, I agree because if you can. do it in such a small space, then
Yeah.
like on such a small canvas, then a big canvas, you should be able to do more. And I think it does everybody that seems to go there, even though they initially may be hesitant because
Mhm.
it's so different to what they're used to. Everyone that I've interviewed that have said have gone there, they said it just opens up creativity in
Yep.
them, and then
Yep.
they could take it back then to like the ring as well. It's weird how that kind of works for them.
Yeah, it's definitely something because like I think it's something about like your comfort zone. So like the ring is basically every pro
Okay.
wrestler's comfort zone. We know how to work in a ring. We know what to do when we're in a ring, but like we're on the mat in a very tight enclosed space with like audience members surrounding us. What do we do? What are the moves that we have that we can do? What are the ideas that we have that we can execute? Like how can we use the window? How can we use the wall? How can we use everything else? So like yeah, definitely the creativity is what we can the creativity if you're a pro wrestler that hasn't gone to Choco Pro yet, the creativity that you will learn there will is something that you can definitely bring back to when you have matches in your regular setting again.
We mentioned the moniker, the Filipino fighting rooster.
Yes.
When did you change to that? What time frame would that have been?
Very very soon after Emi Sakura told me where are you besides a Filipino wrestler. And I was like, that like my the people who I went to Japan with can attest to this. My girlfriend, definitely Jula, who is also a voice actor, the Tagalog voice actor for she's the Tagalog voice for like Azula in the live action Avatar and like other things that are coming as well.
Right.
But like essentially she can attest to this. Like right after Emisara told me, I was just mulling over that one phrase, that one statement that she
Mm,
said to me. Like, how can I differentiate myself? What can I do? So like I thought, okay. By that point, I already had like the chicken logo anyway. I already had the
mm,
chicken logo, like the JDL chicken logo at that time. And I was like, okay, I really like chicken. And I was like, I know of the cockfights, obviously in the Philippines. It's like honestly, at this point, it's our national sport after
mm,
basketball. Cockfighting is the national sport, and I'm like, okay, definitely, I want to do something chicken like. And like they at first, like when I told them, oh, it's kind of like people were kind of skeptical. Hey, the people that I told, like, oh, I want to do like I want to, I want to wear a chicken mask over to the ring, and like they didn't know what was gonna happen. So the first time I ever did that, I believe it was the DexCon show when I came back. It was Jam with the Joshis. Uh, I think that was it. I'm like, I'm not sure if it was a Pusa show or like a Jam with the Joshis, but like once I came out through the curtain for my entrance and like wearing the chicken mask and like hearing the reaction from the audience, I'm like, okay, we got something here. We got something here. And like it was just the look, first off.
mm.
It was just the look and then gradually I kind of evolved it along with my move set. I evolved it along with um basically all my mannerisms. I'm just trying to keep adding on new things, which is what I mentioned earlier when it when it comes to like the Mike Bailey thing where he said try working on one thing or improve one thing every
Mm.
match, and like that's what I've been doing.
Like you said that people were kind of hesitant beforehand, were maybe questioning it. They weren't quite sure maybe where it was gonna go and kind of
Yeah.
what you had in mind. How much of a relief was it for you then once you first went through the curtain and you instantly had a reaction?
It was a big relief, honestly,
Yeah.
because like I was like at that point, I was like 100% in it anyway. Like, if it didn't work out, it wouldn't work out. But like, I would never know if I didn't try, because yeah, that's like again, Emi Sakura's words ring true to me. Because if you look at me like first glance, like right now in the camera, if you look at me, like with this headband, like I have the chicken logo and everything, but like, what do you see besides that? But then I realized, oh, if I make an entrance with the rooster mask, and like kind of like make people look at me,
Mhm.
it's like while like it's so weird seeing someone in a rooster mask coming to pro wrestling going into the pro wrestling ring. It's something like just to grab attention, and then once I have their attention, that's when I can wow them with my wrestling. So I think that was the one thing that like I took from what Emi Sakura said. I just need people to know what kind of character I am, or like pay attention to me, and then I can I can wow them with the wrestling right after that.
This it's interesting because this week, the big thing in wrestling is Mr. Iguana
Yeah,
from AAA,
yeah,
who's we had this amazing card when Worlds Collide, and it was these amazing luchadors doing all these different things. And then the one person that just seemed to have taken off and just
mhm,
become this massive mainstream hit overnight is Mr. Iguana because he had a gimmick of a toy iguana.
yeah.
And it's like it's sometimes just those little things that you just need to kind of like spark that. And then once he was in the ring, you're like, oh wow, he's really good as well. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
I think that's why it works.
Yeah, it's definitely like that's what I was thinking. Like, because it's true. Like everywhere I go, I don't have to like cut a promo where I say, "Oh, I'm from the Philippines. I'm this." I don't have to say like a bunch of words to introduce myself. I just walk in, wear the rooster mask, and like, oh, he likes chickens. He's a rooster man. I don't know like what kind of fetish this guy has. It makes people think. And then once I get into the ring, that's when okay, this guy can wrestle. Like I just need them to look at me once. And then when it comes to Mr. Iguana, definitely. I also am a big fan of Mr. Iguana. Made
Mm.
me think, what if I have a chicken puppet or like a rooster puppet with me also? Even
Yeah.
don't want to gimmick infringe too much. But yeah, essentially it's like the what people fail to realize about wrestling, and I think a lot of like pro wrestlers also kind of like they kind of take themselves too seriously. In my honest opinion, it's great to take yourself seriously, and it's great to like want to like be this badass or like this really great wrestler, obviously. But like I'm also of the belief that the people who watch pro wrestling kind of just want to forget about the world for a moment. So like if you see these colorful characters, if you see the Super P, if you see the Mr. Iguana, if you see the Filipino fighting rooster Jake Leon, I'd want you to be able to like just be in the show and enjoy.
Um, recently, you've turned heel again and
Mm.
joined a brand new faction. How was that reaction gone down for you?
Uh honestly, I don't really care any which way it goes. I love like I'll be honest, like I love playing a heel. I love playing the bad guy. I've always wanted to be a bad guy. As I mentioned earlier, I wanted to be like a rich landowner, the $1 million man Ted DiBiase style. I'm surprised like in their first match back though, and my cat is about to like walk on the screen, I think.
Oh,
Like
it wouldn't be a podcast in there they go. It wouldn't be a podcast on this channel if a cat didn't walk on the screen.
yeah.
If it's
So
not
it's like
mine, it'll be a
no,
guest.
she's a shy one. Oh, is a shy
Oh,
one. But yeah. But yeah, in terms of like turning heel, I really like working I really like working heel, and like the reaction. I was surprised. The first show that we had Pinoy Wrestling Night 2 just recently.
mm,
People booed me, and I was like, okay, the Philippines isn't really a place that they like booing heels a lot, and I'm like, okay, okay. So I worked with it, and like I'm just happy that I'm just happy that there's a reaction, whether it's cheering me or booing me.
mm.
I'm just happy that there's a reaction because that's why I'm here. I'm here to get people to react to me and not like just I don't want them quiet for any of my matches at all.
That's it. The worst reaction is no reaction. So, hey, good reaction, bad reaction, totally fine. Um, I've got some clips here. We will flick them on now. Um,
Uh-huh.
so, if you had to pick, say, three matches for people
Uh-huh.
to hunt down in your career, what three do you think that you would pick?
Ooh, okay. That's interesting. Definitely number one would be the Zack Saber Jr. match. I
Mhm.
really like that match. Definitely something that if you wanna learn about Jake De Leon, well, that's the match that put me on the map. Not really learn about Jake De Leon, but like, because I was just trying to survive, honestly. I guess another match that you would check out of me would be I don't know if you can, but like if you can check out the TJP match as well, that's definitely
Mhm.
something that I would say people should check out. Um there is one match also. It's kind of like a hidden gem in a sense. There is a match from I believe it was 2017 or 2018. In SPW, it was me and Robin Sane going up against the horrors, Dr. Gore and Butcherman. That was my maybe second foray into wrestling internationally. And that
Mm,
is something that up to this day is one of my favorite tag matches ever, is just because that I kind of found a few of my wrestling soulmates in that match: Dr. Gore, Butcherman, Robin Sane. So that was very, very cool to me. Obviously, like any other match that you have, I have a lot of other matches that are great. Matches with Fabio Makisig and matches with Main Max, matches with Robin Sane that you can check out. But for those, for the three that you're asking for, it's me versus Zack Sabre Jr., it's me versus TJP, and then
mm.
it's me and Robin Sane versus Dr. Gore and Butcherman.
What do we have planned for the rest of the year now? We're kind of halfway through 2025. God, it's gone so fast. What do we have planned for the rest of the year now?
For the rest of the year, it's definitely, if like there's other Southeast Asian promotions that want to book me, I'm always open. You can always contact me on my socials, definitely. But also like the main goal right now is to elevate the prestige of the Set of Thailand 24/7 championship. It's been known as a championship that, is basically defended 24/7, weird areas, weird pins,
Mm,
submissions, kickouts, like 24/7. It's like I am a fan of that concept, definitely, but like I also want to be able to like raise the prestige of the belt with amazing matches. And like I feel like that's something I can do with the Setup Thailand 24/7 championship. And basically I want it to mean like being the best pro wrestler 24/7. And that's what I'm striving to. The rest of the year also definitely helping out Puso Wrestling, putting on more shows with Puso Wrestling, with Dexcon, with World Underground Wrestling if they need me as well. It's just to help Pinoy wrestling keep on thriving. And then yeah, like if there's any other countries that want me, definitely I want to come back to Japan, but I'm not sure how feasible it is this year. Maybe next year. We'll see. We'll see, Japan. DDT, if you want to book me, let me know right now. I am more than willing. But yes, that's basically it for me the rest of the year.
So before we let you go, I have to ask, um, are there like three main promotions there? Is it three that you would
There's
say?
four main
Four,
promotions. There's
four.
one I have not been mentioning for good, well, for my personal reasons, but basically,
Right. Okay. We'll stick with the three. That's totally
okay.
fine.
So we have Puto Wrestling, we have Dexcon, and then we have World Underground Wrestling. The ones I work with, essentially. Puso Wrestling is unapologetically Filipino. It's the most Filipino promotion, definitely. We showcase our Filipino talent. We showcase our Filipino personalities. We talk in Tagalog. We talk in Filipino. That's why it's like the main Filipino promotion.
Mm,
Dexcon, its vision mission is more like to be able to bring more eyes to local pro wrestling. So that's why they bring in the big guns like Zack Sabre Jr. They bring in like other people like Yuki Kamifuku from TJPW, uh, Chris Brooks, Masa Takanashi from DDT as well, and also Get Well Soon Masa, definitely hashtag Fight Masa. So they're more to like appeal to the hardcore pro wrestling fans. We're trying to appeal to like the local pro wrestling fans. And then World Underground Wrestling, that's more in the name, it's underground. So like there's no pins, it's all submission and knockout. There's no rope breaks. The ropes are chains. So it's all more of the aspect of like it's more MMA based,
mhm.
so like it's more really like blood sport type. So
Right.
like if you want to check that genre of pro wrestling in the Philippines as well, you definitely can with World Underground Wrestling.
So fingers crossed. There we go. So for the end of the year, if Josh Barnett, Bloodsport,
Mm.
is throwing out invitations across the world, you
Yeah,
have practice now.
yeah.
You know, it should be an easy switch over for you.
It's something that I'm definitely learning. I'm definitely keen on learning more. I'm still not the best proponent at it.
Mm,
Definitely, if it's someone like if ever Bloodsport is watching this,
mm,
Josh Barnett, if ever you're watching, definitely I would suggest to get my colleague Fabio Makisig. Definitely
mm.
the dude that is the most blood sport ready out of all of us. He also won a gold medal in like 74-kilogram combat wrestling. So he's definitely legitimate, as the kids say.
Yeah. Jake, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. Is there anything you want to plug before we wrap this up?
I'm not sure when this is coming out, but definitely I would like to plug our upcoming show for Puso Wrestling. We don't have a name for it yet, but it's on July 6th. It's going to be in Brawl Pit Bulusan again. We're going to have a great the main event, it's already established. The main event will be Robin Sane versus Fabio Makisig for the Puso Wrestling Championship. So definitely come watch that upcoming Puso Wrestling show. If you want to check out more of my stuff, do follow me on social media at Senorito JDL on basically everything: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube also. So yeah, just follow me there if you want to learn more about Pinoy wrestling, about Jake De Leon, about the Filipino Fighting Rooster, and hopefully we'll get more new fans coming soon.
Jake, thank you so much. And stay on the line. We'll do a proper goodbye as well
All
after
right,
we
gotcha.
close out this show. Guys, another amazing interview on the show today. I can't thank Jake enough for coming on the show today. Um, it's amazing to do these interviews with people from the Prusso wrestling world because it's something that before I even started this podcast, I didn't know anything about. And I've tried to learn as much as possible, and I'm really loving this scene. The passion, the actual wrestling matches, everything about it. The production of some of these matches is so different, and just like the camera angles are different on these matches. Everything is just so special about it, and I love doing these interviews from people from this part of the world. And I think you'll agree they are some of the best on this channel as well. I will leave Jake's all of the list of his socials as well down below. And make sure you check out those three matches. We'll try and find links as well for those so you can actually watch those along after you watch this interview. But guys, as always, thank you so much for watching today. Please leave a like and comment down below. Subscribe to the channel. And as always, we will see you soon. Bye, guys.